Perspektiva. Perspektiva. U razgovoru s gostima donosimo različite perspektive o društveno važnim temama, osobnom iskustvu i životu. Utorkom od 12 sati.
Ova emisija sufinancirana je sredstvima Fonda za poticanje pluralizma i različitosti elektroničkih medija. So, today's guest is Leo Day. Leo comes from India but travels the world, carrying the sound of songs and music through the whole world. He has more than 30 years experience in singing and performing in front of audience. So, hello Leo and welcome to our Perspektiva.
Thank you, Maya. It's nice to be sharing the same skies here in Croatia. This is actually my fourth time. And I had a retreat last year in Greece. And after Greece, I was flying into Croatia. And my first experience was, wow, it's so beautiful from the plane. You see the green. You know, Greece is beautiful as well in its own way. It's quite a little dry. I didn't expect to see many mountains, but no trees. And then I'm flying into Croatia. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful country. I'm very privileged to be here. Speaking to you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, you come from India, but you were traveling a lot to many countries. But you consider India your homeland?
I do and I don't. You know, it's a very, I've got so many mixes. You know, my mom is half Colombian, half native. My father's half Bhutanese, half Indian. I was definitely born there. I speak 4 Indian languages. I sing Indian classical. However, I don't know, it's the restless heart in search of, I don't know what. So I don't know if I consider it or consider anywhere to be a home. I'm in the process of really feeling home everywhere that I am under the skies. I don't want to betray my Indian brothers and sisters. I love India. I love the food. Of course, love the culture, the music. But I don't think, like, I'm here in Croatia right now is as homely as ever before. I think it's the just next generation, you know, with the mixed babies. When you have so many mixes in you, I mean, it's. But in one sense, it is a motherland for sure.
Yes, but if you have to explain to Croatian people and these West people from the West,
right?
What is the main difference between Western countries and India? How would you explain that difference?
Wow.
It's a heavy question.
Yeah, because, you know, like, I really don't see the difference in so many ways. You know, you travel. I've nonstop traveled for the last 15 years, right? And the first thing you notice is people are people everywhere. You know, they're working hard, trying to maintain a family, pay tax, stay above the pay grade, fight for the rights, you know, clean water, clean air. Listen to some music, fall in love, get a divorce. I don't know, whatever. You know, the whole, it's the same. But of course, there's some mannerisms and some cultural differences, of course. But if you want, you know, since this is a conversation and you're looking for that different answer, I don't like to compare things because I feel everything is complete in itself. But yeah, of course, there are differences. I would say one of the main differences is perhaps the concept of spirituality, of something beyond matter, the awareness of it in daily life, no matter how imperfect it is in India, but it's there. In every action, people understand the concept of, you know, reincarnation, for instance, karma. I mean, sure, from an intellectual point of view or from a scientific point of view, it's simply an ideology not proven yet, but still, these concepts have been thought about for a long time in India. You know, going back to 3,500, 4,000 years ago, depending which historian you're reading, when the Vedas were written, the people of, well, the bank of the Ganges, near the bank of the Ganges, they have really deeply had time to think about these concepts. So, call it in the veins, in the blood flow of India, the spiritual concepts are very predominant. In the West, of course, it's known for the materialism and, you know, the consumerism and all that. But it's catching on, you know, yoga, kirtan, it's catching on. So I would say that's the main difference, if you want me to point a difference,
My next question is, why we people like that, to compare, like to divide things?
Yeah.
You see, you're just talking about difference between us that are through religion, through families, through everything of that. And your answer was really nice. I want you to repeat it here.
Yeah, because you think about it, all the debates, you know, like, for instance, now the old hashtag about the definition of a man and a woman. You know, we're constantly trying to create a dispute where there needs to be no dispute. Mm-hmm. And whether that be externally or internally. Internally in our mind also, we're constantly trying to take sides or fight against something or fight against or resist something or run towards something. And big part of yoga is to, what Buddha explained it as the leaf in the water, is flowing, which means you're neither fighting and neither resisting. You're simply in the moment, true to the moment, acting in the moment with love. So yeah, I'm not big on taking sides. So when people ask me about definitions, descriptions, I mean, they have their place. I feel like this is how I'll put it. I feel everybody is playing a role to perfection. In a drama, you need the person who does that. Because if you don't have the conservatives, you don't have the liberals. And therefore, you don't have the middle. True. So I feel, I'm an artist, so I see everybody is playing their role perfectly. So for those who want to be conservatives and define things and go into that, good for them. That's beautiful because of them, we then have the liberals. So
the opposite side.
The opposite side. So my position is I really try to stay in the middle as much. Even as a musician, that's important because I'm not in anybody's side. I'm in everybody's side. I'm in the middle, you know? So we need people like that as well. So maybe I'm like that. Could be. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So you started singing Indian classical music as a child, yes? Yeah. And your teachers, I heard that they described your singing as a blessing of Mother Nature and everything. Yeah. Would you say that the singing is something real, something honest in your life from the beginning?
First of all, this is a very kind compliment of a teacher when he says that.
But I think when I heard you, I said that they have right, you know?
I try. Look, I try. I'm just very lucky. I was born into a very musical family. My mother's side are all professional musicians. I have uncles that teach in Columbia and a university, flamenco music. So my mom's side, they're all South American music. My father comes from a Bengali folk side. So my father's also a singer, a vocalist. And yeah, I was born into it. I started singing. Then I started taking professional training when I was young. It is my life and soul. I often say if I didn't have music, I think I would have been very lost. Yeah. So I love doing it. And it's my prayer, my everyday prayer. Yeah. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
Yes, perhaps we can hear something.
Oh, you want to hear a song?
Yes. It's the perfect time.
It's the perfect time. Yes. So yesterday, I wanted to ask you a question. Yesterday because you said that was your first time that you've attended.
Ever in life.
Wow. Tell me, I'm very curious to know, as a first time, tell me some of your experiences that you had before I sing a song. I'm very curious because a genre that you've never been exposed to, and your first time and you're there, you're sitting. What are some of the experiences that happened in you? What did you like or what did you see of yourself that was very unique?
It will be a bit heavy to say that in English, you know?
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
But I'll try. I was really surprised by the power of opening my heart there, you know? It's through music.
Yeah.
And the whole spectrum of emotions that I went through through the evening.
Yeah.
Everything I would describe as pure happiness.
Okay.
As pure happiness, although there were moments of real deep sadness. Okay. But I managed to go over them, to put them out for me.
Yeah.
And that was so happy moment for me. For a long time, I didn't have such special time with me.
Okay.
To sit there, actually, to go through these emotions.
Right.
And to leave them all over again.
Right.
Some of them were really hidden, you know.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Ishwari before about them.
Yeah.
Always talking, and she was asking me, what do you feel about this and this and this? And suddenly yesterday, it all came out, what I really felt. So during these 2.5 hours, I don't know how much, I feel that tears are going down. But I was happy, you know.
Yeah.
So these were tears of happiness. And it was really special. Right. Especially your music And the way you perform, it's not like some old-fashioned music, you know. When we are talking here in the West about some sounds that are so old-fashioned,
right.
It was also full of beat, you know. This tempo and everything really suits me.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
I'm very
so
grateful,
happy.
really, for that.
Yeah, I'm so
that
happy you had that experience. You know, it's so,
Yes.
you know, often, you know, to be really honest, without when I'm really singing, as I was saying yesterday, it's really not me. You know, that's why I try to go there where I can become. Yeah, it's hard to describe in words. It just reminds me of what Zakir Hussain said. He's a tabla player. He's a world-renowned legend. And he says, I'm only in the first 5 minutes and in the last 5 minutes of a concert. So I'm me when I walk on the stage and I start playing the tabla. And he says, then something happens. And then whatever happens in the middle, it's not me. But then I have to come back into me in order to finish the concert, because otherwise the concert will never finish. So then the last 5 minutes I come back in and it's me. And then he says, I feel embarrassed accepting the praise and the applause, because how can I accept something which I did not do? So I think that surrender takes time. It's a practice. You know, a lot of musicians get stuck on this level, the second level. My teacher used to say there are 3 levels of breath. Everything has to do with the breath. And the first level is this nervous, right? So then if you were to sing a note, let's say on a frequency, then your voice shakes. So like this. Let's suppose this is the note. And you have to sing Om. A beginner will sing like this. Oh. You see how it's shaking? Can you see it's shaking?
Yes.
Because the nerves is shaking. He's nervous. Oh. You see?
Yes.
Then you start practicing a little bit, and you become a little better, because practice makes you, then your breath becomes a little bit more stable, right? And then you can go from there shaking to Om. Om. And then it becomes more and more like this. But most musicians get stuck in the second stage, which my teacher said, ego. When you're good at something and you realize you're good at something, then with that comes the power. You're like in the backstage like a lion. Let me loose and I'll blow the roof. You know what you can do. And that's why I was making a joke in my teens. If you were to put a couple of beautiful women in the front row, my performance would go up, right? And most musicians enjoy that state for too long. But the third stage is that devotion, that surrender, where you become, and I've just in the last perhaps 4 years, 3-4 years of my life, I'm just beginning to tap into that, where I literally forget where I am. You know, I close my eyes, as you saw, right? And sometimes I'd open it and I feel a little confused because I have to see faces again, right? So, and that stage is the stage of surrender. And the stage of, it doesn't matter. I could be singing in front of 10 people. In Kumbh Mela, I've sung in front of 10,000 people. And you want to come to this stage where you're not singing for anybody and you're going inside. So I'm very happy you had that experience. That makes me very happy. It was your first time. I'll sing one of the songs I sang yesterday, just for you, okay? That was Om Namah Shivaya for when we were talking about the fatherly masculine energy, right? So the mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. My music teacher used to always say, sing as if you're talking to your lover. See how many dynamics there are. First, imagine, I gave you that scene yesterday. Imagine you are 2 o'clock, you woke up at night, and you see your father still working. You're not supposed to be up because the next day you have school, right? Yeah. So then when you look at your father, the first look is like, am I in trouble?
Should I be here?
Should I be here? So how would you express that tone? Like, Om Namah Shivaya. It's okay, I'm going to go. Huh? Om Namah Shivaya. Feeling love. And then this Om is the father's way. Go back. Om Namah Shivaya. This is authority of the father. Shivaya. This is the story. So, and then you can. Om Namah Shivaya. So it's a method of storytelling, because when I'm singing, I'm involved in this world, in this visual. It's like a movie. I'm playing all the characters through my voice, and you're able to journey with me. That's the way I present it. Yeah.
That's the reason why we were on a journey.
Yeah,
journey. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, especially at the end, then.
Yeah.
You sing for a mother, not for a father. It was also a different energy.
Yes.
It was very nice that you left that for the end.
The best for the end. Hey,
different,
nothing without the mother.
Different, something. Oh, what is now happening? I almost think, okay, we are finished now. But then happened the whole new wave of emotions.
In the emotions, yeah.
Yes.
It reminds me of one of my favorite artists was Robin Williams, the comedian.
Yes.
Yeah. Really? You know, he was the only artist when he passed away, I actually cried. You know, it's just something so ironical about his life. He made everybody laugh so much his whole life. True. But deep down inside, he was alone and suffering to a point where he, as we know, he killed himself. Yeah. And I just thought that story, life is so mysterious. You know, you never know what a person is going through, you know. But he used to make a joke about his mother. Once he forgot to thank his mother on an Oscar award. And his mom, would all the time remind him, oh, yeah, what have I really done? I've just pushed you out of my womb. You know, that's nothing, you know, be sarcastic. So, yeah, the mother is very important. You know, a lot of our modern let's say, mental challenges and diseases and all these mental, problems, that are on the rise. It's, as you know, it's a lot to do with the family, the breakdown of the family, the mother and the father. So the interconnection through songs, visualization, it heals. It like you say, you went through the pain. You know, it's very interesting when you said to me, you went through the pain. Also came out, but it was not something. It was pain with love.
Yes,
isn't it?
Yes, and with happiness at the same time.
And happiness at the same time. It's like a paradox, right? Yes. And I think that's the beautiful way. This is one thing I love about music, and especially chanting, because these are not merely just romantic songs. You know, this is something love which has not to do with other people. You know, all the great romance songs is like Osho makes a joke, you know, no one's ever written a song about their wife. It's always a lover, you know, because all the great stories, sorry, I didn't mean to, but think about it. All the great romances all has to do with the lovers who couldn't be together.
True. Like Romeo and Juliet.
Juliet, you have Leila and Majnu, because no one talks about it once they get together.
But the whole I work on this relationship. Right. So, but the love, the real peace, and the whole spiritual concept is based on this reality of that love that we are constantly trying to project and find it somewhere. It's actually already within existing, and when you access it,
it is beautiful. In those moments, you felt you needed nothing.
True.
You know? So this is why I love singing. I love singing. And I'm so privileged in whatever way somehow the divine has put me in this service. It really is a service to myself first. I'm going to cure myself. and then, bring joy somehow to my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But how would we define kirtan? I don't know. If somebody asks me how to make a definition, if my friend asks me, what is that?
Yeah.
How to explain? It's a special experience.
Yes.
For every person.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's not a lot of times people associate, because it is let's say language-wise, it's a different language, and it, maybe even musical genre-wise, it might be a different genre. So a lot of times people might associate it to, let's say, India or something Eastern.
You see?
But it's not that. It's really,
not that.
No. It's a process of inner journey. It's a process of inner becoming. It's a process of inner realization. It's a process of solitude. It's a process of thought, contemplation. It's a process of space. You're giving yourself that space that you require to really find the grounding of who you are without the external identities of who you think you are. And once you strip yourself, okay, I'm not this, I'm not my job, I'm not a CEO, I'm not this, I'm not, then you're coming to the core of then what is that subjective reality when you open your eyes and the whole world comes into existence. Who is the observer? That's the process of kirtan. And it's done through music, which is beautiful because it's also scientific. I mean, the frequency is very strong. I mean, they've done so many studies on the brain. Even trees are responding, cows are responding. In those YouTube, you have a guy playing a cello and an elephant appears from nowhere. All this kind of animals, trees, the weather. We have legend stories in India of how musicians would sing and they could make rain. Whether it's true or not, at least the concept of nature responds, animals respond, and our brain waves become settled. And that's why, to me, kirtan is a process of finding out who you are deeply. That's how I see kirtan. I don't associate it with any sect or any process, religious, especially religious process.
Or country or
country
like
or nothing
that.
like that. That's why the first question when you asked me, where's your motherland? And I was thinking, oh gosh, I really, it's like a world, what they say, world of the citizen of the world, so to speak. And I think these concepts are nice. It will kind of eradicate these real divides that we have.
And boundaries.
Yeah. I mean, they're needed, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
In one sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could hear some more music, because I'd like to ask you some questions about breathing. But before that...
Okay. Let me play you... I'm trying to think. A song that suits... I'm very moody with what I sing. As I sang, when I sing, I don't like to know what I'm going to sing. And you were talking about mother, right? And since I sung a father, maybe I'll sing a mother. Not the other melody, but I want to sing you a different melody of the Divine Mother, honoring the Divine Mother. So here it goes like that. Okay? Yesterday's melody was more like the mother here. This is like the more universal mother, who holds everybody. Is like... Om Namo Om Namo means I pay my respect. I'm showing my love, my recognition, my respect to Mother Earth, the sky, the trees, everything that holds us, right? Om Namo Namo Durga is the name of the mother. Om Namo Durge. Om Namo Durge. Om Namo Durge. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Anantarupam. She has many forms, many manifestations, many ways of loving us. Adhya Puran Purusham Navayovanamscha Vedeshu Durla Avadurlavatma Bhakto. Om Durga. I literally forgot that I was in a radio station.
Yes, me too.
I completely forgot.
I was just sitting and thinking.
Yeah. The same thing happens to me. So I started singing. I realized I was in a radio station, and then I lost it, and I came back. So I love this, because it shows how thin or how illusory is the concept of reality. Because I lost reality right now. I'm supposed
perhaps that was a reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So this is a way of entering a different dimension, I feel. It's like the secret door, but you have to be very sincere. And it's a practice to do it. And the more you practice, the more it becomes actually quite easy. It's like a Narnia. You have this door, you open, and you go into this whole different universe.
But you see, it's a lunatic to think that only what we see and what we can touch is a reality.
Either that or I forgot my morning pills today. I haven't taken my pills in a while, guys. This is not good.
True. So let's go back to studio and talk about something else. Not something else, but about breath. You mentioned it. And you were here in Zagreb. You held some workshops with Ishvari, like shamanic breath.
Yes.
And what is your experience of those 2 days, kirtan and that shamanic breath and everything that happened in Zagreb?
Yeah, so pranayam, which is the art of breathing and conscious breathing and awareness in breath and being in the moment and witnessing your mind, these are all yogic techniques. And they really incredibly help you to have clarity, to have peace and grounding. So, of course, as a vocalist and as a musician, when I practice, in my student days, I used to practice anywhere up to 6 hours a day. So, of course, I've had experiences of breathing and being in that zone. But I've never been part of a shamanic breath
really?
Session. Never before.
It was the first time.
It was my first time.
Too.
So now it's my turn to tell you the experience.
Yes.
It was really incredible because I was doing the singing with the drum. Mm-hmm. I do have a desire to connect more to my mother's roots, to my native roots and all that. I just haven't had the time. But it's funny because I was singing with the drum and I started singing like the natives sing, And when I go visit my mom in Montreal, Mom, hello, if you're listening, love you. She loves playing those CDs or off YouTube of native singing. They have this particular way of singing with playing the drum. Sure. And at first I was a little, because it's first time, so I'm trying to try out where do I fit. Everybody's like laying and breathing and in this trance, and I was the drum. And then at one point I just surrendered. And it was an incredible experience because I felt connected so much to my native side. And I was singing with the drum. And it was very, very, in some sense, it was a similar experience, but in some sense, a very different experience. So that was my first experience with shamanic breath. And yes, Ishwari is incredible. The way she runs she has an amazing energy, and the way she just, it takes a lot to hold space for, we had about, 20 people or something, to hold that energy and to guide people through that particular way. It was incredible. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for that process. Yeah, for sure.
So next time that you have these shamanic breath workshops,
yeah, you have to come.
Yes, I think it will be my first then.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people have releases. You know, they were in the beginning. You know, people like, oh, you know, like they go through. It's amazing because you're witnessing. Imagine walking around and witnessing 20 people's journey. You know, some people are breathing loud, and we end with like these more soft sounds, and then they start to just laugh for no reason. You know, they're laughing, they're just laughing and crying at the same time, and it's very beautiful to notice. And when you think about it, they have no reason to, because they have eyes closed from a materialistic perspective.
Yes.
What is the reason for them to be experiencing that? You could say their eyes are closed. Is there something they're experiencing, an inner joy, which they don't experience much? It's an inner world. So there were people, there was this big man, like big Viking-looking man. In the end, he's like laughing like a little child, you know? And it's very beautiful to notice. So I'm looking forward to your experience. I'll be there.
I'll let you know, you know?
Yeah.
So you're not staying in Zagreb for long? You're traveling somewhere else?
Yes, I'm actually on a Europe tour. And I have to go a couple of more places. I'm singing in some big yoga festivals for the first time. A lot of my career has been singing for the Indian community because of my genre. I sing light Indian classical. Just the last year and a half, for the first time, I'm venturing off more into the yoga community, the Western community. So I'm singing in Yoga Mela, which is in Sweden. It's said to be one of the biggest yoga festivals in Europe. And then after that, I'm singing in World Yoga Festival in England, which is in the top 2 or 3 yoga festival in England. So I'm very excited. It's a new chapter in my life in so many ways, musically, spiritually, you know, in many ways. I feel, it's a new beginning. Yeah.
But then we can expect you again in Croatia.
Absolutely. I'm going to come and I have to witness your shamanic journey. I'll be there.
So in India, you also have your workshops?
Yes, I do. It's good you reminded me. So for those who are listening, if you are interested in going in an inner journey through the voice, activating voice, you know, as a vocalist, when I teach, it's so funny because when I started teaching in the West, in India, we have a different way. This is one perhaps difference we can come back to. Well, musically, how do they teach? You know, the old traditional way of teaching in India is very much still the old way. You know, the teacher tells you what to do and you just do it. You know, the West has been freed for a long time, like, ask questions, you know. I don't want to do it until I know it.
And give your opinion.
Yeah, right. So India sometimes they just have this way of teaching, you know, like the way I learned it. It was more traditional, whereas the guru tells you what to do, you do it. And, you know, for instance, I never asked my Guruji questions like, what does a voice box look like? You know, or what are the mechanics of the voice, or the higher level, or the lower level, the bass, and or even voice health, you know, like if you talk about, and you talk to any professional vocalist in the West, they know about voice health, things like we just practiced. Our music teachers just told us and we just practiced.
But I like more, for me, the Indian way is better.
Oh yeah?
Yes, you know why?
Yeah.
Because when you experience it, then you can tell what it is. I don't like theory.
Yes, that's what I mean.
That's so too much information for nothing.
You have a point. You have a point. Absolutely, you have a point there. But just because I didn't ask the questions doesn't mean that I don't know. But I found out through practice.
It's the better way.
Yeah. But still, the Western students want this information. True. And I cannot be... Like, it's just not my nature also to be an orthodox traditional Indian teacher, right? So I've kind of, let's say, to
find balance.
So the way I teach is also not genre-wise. I teach people to find their own voices through very basic fundamentals. The first level of teaching of voice culture, what we call voice culture, which includes finding your natural tone. I could talk about hours on this theory of natural tone. What is your natural voice? If I say sing, imagine some people, you go to a yoga studio, they go, Om, not natural. Or if they go, Mike has spoiled us. Everybody wants to sound like as if they're Britney Spears or something. They go really close and go, oh. You know what I mean?
True.
It's like, no, there is a natural tone, which is Om. It's pure. Om. Unpretentious. So what is a natural tone? Not too much up, not too much down, which comes down to the basic fundamentals of vowels, articulation, the jaw, set them up to a level of being able to then explore the natural voice. Because a lot of people, like, why do you think people talk like this? Like, hey, how are you doing? Like, wow, did you see the weather? Yeah. Where is this coming from? That's not his voice.
No.
But it's culture imprints. He's probably heard someone in his house talking like, so we are constantly adapting other people's ways without finding who we are. Every voice is special.
True.
So my way of approaching what I call voice mastery, which I'm going to be teaching in this workshop in India, this retreat, is basically finding yourself through your voice and your voice expression. So yeah, that's in September 25th till October 5th. For 10 days. That's going to be in a beautiful place, in a place called Rishikesh on the bank of the Ganges. I have a sister who's a beautiful dancer, classically trained. She'll come and she'll teach them body movements. I have a yoga teacher coming teaching tantra, yoga asanas. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful retreat. Yeah, I'm excited.
So I was never in India also. So
you should come.
I should come.
Yes, if you find yourself free, please.
But I'm still in this period.
You've never been to India?
No.
Oh my God. No, you haven't. This is unacceptable.
But I have a friend, Ishwari, that is in India. She's almost like she's at home.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I will go.
Yes.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Because now I'm in this period. I was in this period of life that everything was more important, or job was more important. Everything.
Yeah.
But everything.
Now you're the boss. Come on. You're the boss now. Come on, you're the boss.
Everything connects together.
Right.
So in the right time, I'll come.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
I would like to finish with a song.
Okay. And
you choose a song.
Yes.
And then we see each other when you come next time.
Yes, of course.
Again.
Of course.
So thank you very much for experience yesterday.
My greatest pleasure to be here with you, Maya. You're an incredible soul. You do an amazing service. You're constantly talking to the community, bringing good energy and vibes and hope in these difficult times. Your voice is giving a lot of people around the country, when they tune on, they hear your voice, they feel at home, they feel like a family. So, all glories to your service as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll finish with a Gayatri mantra, which is just the mantra for peace, for all the disputes that's going around the world, without any exceptions in all countries, whether that be Middle East or the war going on. I just want to send out this song to all my brothers and sisters. It's a song of just peace and hope for all these things to be resolved and all disputes to be disappeared. So here it is. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. One last time for all of you. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Perspektiva. Perspektiva. U razgovoru s gostima donosimo različite perspektive o društveno važnim temama, osobnom iskustvu i životu. Utorkom od 12 sati.